Hello, resident Smash 3DS fan here, and today we're going to be talking about baseball stars for the NES. I mean, Persona 5. Persona 5 has a villain issue, and for the sake of explaining, I will be comparing the Persona 5 villains to the villains of Persona 4 and Persona 3. And if you're wondering why not Persona 2 and Persona 1, it's because Atlus doesn't think these games exist. Persona has a history of twist villains. The main antagonist of Persona 3 is Persona 4's main antagonist is Adachi, who is of course a twist villain, and he's a good one too. Starting off, Adachi is portrayed as an unimpressive, clumsy detective. However, deep down, Adachi is a man who resents the town that he lives in and hates his current lifestyle. And because of this, he decides to just commit mass murder. Now, Persona 5's main antagonist is Shido, Akechi, Kamoshida. See, the first issue of Persona 5 is the way it presents its story and its antagonists. First of all, the game has multiple antagonists, which for a 100-hour-long game makes sense. Persona 3 has many antagonists, Persona 4 has a couple antagonists, and of course Persona 5 also does. Now, the way the game is structured, however, is each palace in the game has some sort of arc with it. They build up a party member, they build up a villain, and then the Phantom Thieves take out the palace. But this arc becomes flawed when you realize the main party member gets around 80% of the build-up, while the villain gets at most 20%. This leads to the villains seeming super one-dimensional, because they just don't get enough screen time or really any attention at all. Kaneshiro is just generic mafia dude, and Okumura is literally just evil Jeff Bezos. So Jeff Bezos. These traits are just not interesting to me. They're not unique, and they certainly don't keep me interested in the character. The only secondary villain that I consider to be good is Kamoshida. Kamoshida is different because he has a direct influence on all the main party members, besides the furry. While all the other secondary villains like Kaneshiro or Okumura really only have a major effect on one of them, and it isn't until they start entering the palace that that villain has an effect on them. Like with Madarame, Yusuke is really the only person who has a connection to him. Now getting back on track for Kamoshida, his long history with Ryuji and the track team gets solid development, and learning the abuse that Ryuji was dealt from Kamoshida is just really well executed and well written. Seeing the way An gets treated by Kamoshida is just super depressing. And of course, all of this culminates with Shiho jumping and An eventually joining the Phantom Thieves to put an end to Kamoshida. Now the reason why Kamoshida works is because he actually gets development. His pride and power rules over the school, and the way he's able to control everyone involved in the school is just really, really interesting. And also the way his palace relates to his position in the school is just so well done. Now Kamoshida is not perfect. He has no real solid motive other than his ego and power. Now, ego and power can be a good motive if it's built up, like the way they did with Adachi, who hates the position he's put in with his town, and is why he decides to murder for the sake of a power trip. But Kamoshida does not get good enough development to make his evils really understandable, but as a secondary villain, I think he's good. Alright, now moving on to my favorite character in the game, Shido. Shido is complete dogshit, and is a disgrace to the word character. When it comes to motivation, we get nothing. Shido wants power, control, and money, which works well with the themes of the game, but it doesn't really work well with actual character interest. I just don't give a shit when this guy enters the scene. For how much they try to build his character throughout the game, you would think that they would actually give a shit about the quality of writing. But no. His personality is ass. He's just a bad man doing bad things, who happens to be a politician. These types of characters are so boring to me, man, and are just so overdone and so cliched, it's really just stupid. Like, we get it, rich equals bad, but please, Atlus, give us an actual good main villain next time. However, Shido has one interesting trait, and it's his offspring.
End of part 1. Intermission.
Motherfucking... Alright, you got this, Peter. Put the money in the bag. Put the money in the bag. Put the money in the bag. Okay, let's go. Put the money in my ass, nigga!
End of intermission.
Black Akechi is one of the villains of all time. Okay, so starting off positive, Akechi is a way more interesting villain than Shido. Shido is generic politician number 254, but Akechi has real motives, which ironically involved Shido. Akechi's mother was being abused in her job, and this led to having very little funds to support Akechi and getting extremely depressed. Now this of course led to Akechi's mother's suicide, and continued abuse from Shido just led Akechi to snap and gain access to his persona. Simply put, Akechi is just a way more interesting villain. His plan to gain the interest of his ignorant dad, to then betray him and destroy him, is just more interesting and understandable. The terrible life he was given because of Shido is super sad, so when you see him at the end fall because of the Phantom Thief's plan, it is satisfying to a degree, but it's also sad, and this is only supported in Royal with his new confidant. Now, Akechi is not perfect. His screen time is sort of limited, and his personality isn't really that interesting. He's either Joker 2.0 or just a normal teenager. And I'm not talking about the Joker from Persona 5. But even though Akechi's not a perfect villain, he is the best Persona 5 has to offer, and is definitely better than his dad. In general, P5 has terrible villains. Most of them are just boring and poorly written. But even with these poor villains, Persona 5 is still a great game and a definite recommend. So with that, I'm out of here. And please subscribe. Shit, I forgot Maruchi. Hey guys, JadeBlade here. Right now, pretty sick. Don't really like to talk, but I need to talk about, my channel. So, took a long break, as you can tell from my upload schedule, but I'm back with this video. I just want to keep it brief. Persona 3 will be coming. That will be the last episode, JadeBlade Season 1. But right now, I only have like 2 more videos planned that I know of that will come before then. Still haven't even beaten Persona 3, but yeah, and that is the RPGs video and the Battle Royale video, or Battle Royales video. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah. Promise you the RPG video will happen, and then from there, I don't really know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye, chop up the soul Kanye, set on his goals Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood Kanye, the always rude Kanye, spaz in the news Kanye. I miss the sweet Kanye.